Hi there, I'm Simon Canton,
And I'm Dave Higgins.
and we're going to be outlining an episode of Greenstar, which is our comedy science fiction series. And we're going to do it directly on the screen. So I'm going to share my screen, which has the outline, and Dave and I are going to talk back and forth. So without further ado, I shall share my screen. So this is the very rough outline that I've come up with. So let's see. Starts off with Doc. Josie and the others are back in the clearing, where the bunker is now expanded to accommodate all of the people, as in they put in more things onto the bunker, and not that they've made the bunker bigger, obviously, because they can't. Doc is mourning Wallaby. Oh yeah, did you get a chance to read the
Yeah.
episode 6? So Wallaby died, but then, so it's not a member of the main crew, but he was pretty important. But it just seemed right. I don't know. You can see on the redraft if it's still okay. Anyway, Doc's mourning Wallaby when Toppy comes to see her. He says that Wallaby died to save them. Doc asks if Wallaby even existed. Topic says that the answer lies inside Doc herself. Doc says she feels in her heart that he was real. Topic says, no, the maggots.
Yeah.
Topic points out that if the maggots are changing Doc's thought processes, then everything in the land of Nod is real. After all, je pense donc je suis. I don't know. I always thought, I think therefore I am should have been in Latin, but it's in French, obviously.
Descartes was French.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, yeah. Anyway, Doc translates it as, I think therefore I am. Topic says that their thoughts are the only true gauge they have, which is true. Doc nods and they both go to the lab Josie has made for modifying the hyperspace gun. Doc extracts one of her maggots and puts it under a microscope. What sign is there that it's intelligent, or that it's the thing altering her? Like, there has to be some kind of, like, they're blue, but what is about them that's, could they be waving, or hold up a sign that says, hey Doc, how are you? Or something.
Trying to think of the signs of intelligence that aren't utterly ridiculous. The sign's good, but is there anything else?
Like, it could make a trail that just reads hello, or something. Or it could do like circus tricks, acrobatics, or something. But that's not really intelligence. That's just doing tricks.
This is the thing. I've been thinking about it. Do we want to just have something and they go, oh, that's got to be a sign of intelligence? Or do we want to make a joke about the fact that you can't actually tell if something's intelligent? Because every time someone comes up with proof of intelligence in Great Apes or whatever, people go, well, yeah, that could technically just be learned behavior.
Mm.
What's the difference between intelligence and being able to learn?
How about the maggot then makes like a trail, like it squirms around, making a trail that spells out, this is a sign of intelligence. And Topic said, oh, well, that could just be learned behavior.
Yeah.
And the maggot spells out, no, it's not. This is not learned behavior. This is a sign of intelligence. And Topic goes, oh, I'm still skeptical.
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Topic says that the maggots are changing Doc, so things in the land of Nod must be real. But Topic breaks down in tears at Wallaby's death. So if Topic... So if he didn't believe it up until that point, then he breaks down in tears at Wallaby's death. I guess it might be a step over the line of silliness, but we'll see. Josie is hovering over Audley and Elijah, who are altering the hyperspace gun so that it won't shoot through normal space, but it'll shoot to normal space.
Yeah.
They tell her it's going to take a day at least to do the alterations. Josie asks if they need anything. They tell her they need peace and quiet. Josie says she'll stand by the door and make sure no one comes in. They tell her they want her to leave. Josie goes out of the lab and finds Doc consoling Topic. She asks what's the matter. Doc explains how they just proved everything in the land of Nod is real. Josie asks how that can be possible. Doc doesn't know how it's possible, but it's the truth. Josie goes out and finds Seth, taking him outside where she makes him a playground. Seth is happy. Josie is watching him play with her with her thoughts going to the other children in his school. Otherwise, she was watching him play with her thoughts. They all escaped, but only out to the woods where the robots are patrolling. Josie decides she's going to find them and bring them back to the clearing. Josie goes into the bunker and asks for volunteers. Some people want to help, others are tired from escaping the bots. Josie tries to make a fleet of shuttles. She can only make 6. I was trying to up the ante a bit by starting to limit their powers, which we said we were going to do.
Yeah.
She can only make 6. She tries again and can only manage 1. Connor helps her out by making the rest. Josie tries to wish for something else and nothing happens. She asks Connor what's happening. He doesn't know, and the only people that might are busy making the hyperspace gun. He says maybe she's just tired. Josie and Connor take a shuttle up, one of the larger ones with guns on it. They turn on heat vision on the display and circle the forest finding people. The people are among the trees, so Josie just tells them to go to the clearing over the speakers. They keep going, and Connor says it's the first chance they've had to be alone in days. Josie points out that the intensiometric coils won't respond well to them getting Amorous in a shuttle. They keep going and spot more people, but they're being attacked by a monster. Which monster did we want to have them attacked by? Anything other than the Kumihos, which turn up in a second.
Yeah, I had a look through the list of things that were out there, and none of it really leapt out as, yeah, we definitely didn't use enough of that. We've got to bring it back because we killed the Greek monster that looks like food. The whale itself isn't that exciting.
No. Could they be just in trouble then? They don't have to be being attacked by a monster. They could be like struggling. One of them's falling down a waterfall or something, or hanging from a cliff or something like that, or even being attacked by bots. I mean, I was just trying to vary it up a bit. But,
yeah, not attacked by bots. I tell you well.
I mean, we could. So they often, for monsters, have like giant spiders or things like that. Like make an animal giant. So what would be something that hasn't been done, like ants and spiders, but would be pretty horrendous if it was large?
Almost anything, really. Not a predator, because predators are fairly dangerous at their normal size. So a big predator isn't. It's got to have come from somewhere, because otherwise we're going to get someone who wants to know where it came from, who invented it.
Yeah.
Because if everything, so. what's been created that's still hanging around? A press gang? And presumably they need armies to fight the bots.
Mm.
So the boys in blue are getting their men from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of had them as goodies so far.
Mm.
Well, let's see. So Josie had her town. There's not really anyone bad there. Connor had the Humansters, but we don't really know what's happening there. So it might be, we don't know if they're all dead, for example, if we write the short story.
Yeah, we don't want to fiddle with that too much.
Elijah obviously has the gangsters and the things like that. So we could have gangsters holding them up at gunpoint.
Yeah. What's his name? Arnold Dark Black. Having read the bots, maybe?
Josie and Connor, well, I don't know, they'd shoot. They can scare off Arnold.
Yeah.
With their guns and land, taking the people on board. The people are 5 beautiful women. So, yeah, that would make sense then, because then Arnold was, like, correct to be holding his gun on them. The people are 5 beautiful women who Connor stares at. Josie tells him to keep his mind out of the gutter. Connor says he can't help feeling neglected. They fly towards the clearing, but Connor points out the women aren't women anymore. Instead, they've become foxes. The foxes are circling Josie and Connor. One of them darts forward to bite Connor in the leg. He wishes for a club and beats it away. Josie tries to wish for her own weapon, but nothing happens. The shuttle wavers and lands awkwardly, while Josie and Connor fight the Kumihos. Josie and Connor fight their way to the hatch, open it, and climb out, locking it behind them. Connor says that perhaps their plan to rescue all the humans needs modification. Paul is experimenting with ways to keep Felipe trapped. He puts Felipe in a cage, but Felipe escapes. He tries chains, but Felipe apparates out of them. Other things he might try.
What else is Paul keeps thinking about food. Previously, when he's been in danger, he's created a food thing. So something food related. Do you want to go for something food related that Paul would think was bad, like a Brussels sprout cannon?
Yeah.
Well, that's not really a way of keeping him trapped, though.
Like I was thinking of jelly. Like he could put him inside jelly.
Jelly, but then
Felipe
Paul like jelly.
Paul could accidentally start eating the jelly, which then frees Felipe.
Yeah, because Felipe can't escape if Paul's looking at him. But if Paul finally gets him trapped in the jelly, so he's in a transparent trap, so he can't sneak off and hide. And then Paul eats the way for him to get out. Because Paul's in Egypt.
Then Paul tries another idea and nothing happens. He tries again, but his wishes aren't happening anymore. He goes to Elijah and Audley to complain. Elijah says his own wishes are working fine, but he tries one and nothing happens. I mean, it's a bit of a coincidence that they all start losing their powers at the same time, but I figured that they'd used approximately the same amount of power each, so potentially they could lose them kind of the same time. And then I was trying to work out who had more power than others.
Yeah.
So Josie had imagined the entire town, including a space elevator, so that's presumably quite a lot. Elijah imagined an entire city.
Yeah.
Paul imagined an entire city. But Connor, for instance, imagined a village. Gina imagined a village, which presumably are smaller. Anyway, Paul asks what's happening. Elijah says he doesn't know, but it won't matter if they can come up with a way to escape. He tells Paul to go ask Doc, since she seems smart these days. Paul finds Doc tending to the wounds of the people in the camp. He asks why his wishes have stopped working. Doc says she doesn't know. Her own wishes still seem to be working. She wishes for lots of things, all of which appear. Doc asks if anyone else had it happen to them. Obviously, Doc's used the least amount of power, probably.
Yeah. She created the guns, Wallaby, and then that's about it.
Yeah. So she's almost got all her power. She hasn't created any cities or anything big. Paul says Elijah has. Doc asks what Paul wished for. Paul gives her a list. Doc says Elijah created a whole city. She says their wishes might have limits after all. Paul is shocked. Where is he going to get ice cream? Doc says it might be something that comes back over time. Paul says it's better, or he'll be very angry with Anik. Doc says she's the last person to be angry at. Her wishes probably ran out a long time ago because she made the whole planet. Yeah. Paul says, and she's been lording it over us ever since. Raina and Baulé are in a shuttle. They're arguing the way they did on the Greenstar, as in debating, as in not like, quarreling. They're both happy to fall into their old rules. Raina thinks they're going to escape. Baulé thinks they're going to die horribly. They fly over a jungle village, which is Gina's, and see bots attacking women. Landing, they go to help. Baulé can't wish for anything, so Raina does it for him. They create weapons and start handing them out to the women. When the bots are defeated, they turn on Baulé. The women do. Raina defends them, convinces them Baulé isn't like the men they know. She offers to bring the women back to the clearing where it's safe. The women agree. Gina is in the shuttle with Cram and Goatee. She says it's difficult not to think of them as being their original counterparts. Goatee says that's why he's decided to grow a goatee to go with his moustache. Otherwise, his name sounds ridiculous. So he is actually going to have a goatee. Yeah. Gina says that might not be a bad idea. Because at least then, like, from his point of view, then he can introduce himself as Goatee and people go, oh, that's because he has a goatee, rather than him having to go into a long explanation.
Explain every time. That makes sense.
They see men in armor and men on motorbikes fighting bots. So King Arthur, and what were they called? The Causeless Rebels are fighting together now against the bots because the bots are obviously a greater enemy. They use the shuttle to strafe the bots and then land. The men say that they're mortal enemies. They're united against their common robot foe. Gina says they don't have room for them on the shuttle, but they can head north and find the clearing where all the other humans are gathering to fight the bots. Then Gina, Cram, and Goatee fly on in search of more people. Josie and Connor are trekking back through the forest. Josie has created guns for them, and they're being careful. But they hear a child screaming somewhere. Josie runs in the direction of the scream. They find a group of adults and children being attacked by bots. Josie kills the bots, fighting to save the people. When the bots are dead, she tells them to follow her. She asks Connor to make more weapons, and he tries, but he can only make 5. No matter how he wishes, no more will come out. He says it's never happened to him before, which is maybe a cheap joke.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a joke that's been told 6 billion trillion times at this stage. But it might be funny anyway.
It's still mildly worthy. It's in Connor's character, I think.
They march through the forest back to the clearing, and Josie assembles all the crew that are there, other than Elijah and Audley. I guess I mean that they've all gotten back at that stage.
Yeah.
She tells them that wish powers are starting to disappear. Doc tells Josie her theory. Josie says they need to be careful what they wish for, which is a pretty bad pun, since their wishes are limited now. Doc points out that Audley is their powerhouse should she hasn't wished for anything yet. Josie says that's a good point. The shuttles return with more people. Okay, I guess there is... I guess she's talking to the crew that have returned.
Yeah.
All the crew who have returned. Yeah, okay. Shuttles return with more people, and Josie asks Doc to make a new bunker for them. Doc does so. Audley and Elijah emerge, talking to the now completely assembled crew. They say they can create a hole big enough for the Greenstar to fly out of, but the Greenstar is transformed into the land of Nod. They've all changed it so much that it's not a ship anymore. They need to make a second one in order to fly out. Topic asks how he's meant to become the AI on the second ship. Oddly points out that they can make anything. They can transfer his consciousness back to the ship's AI core, or anyone else for that matter, Anik, for example. Elijah points out that this is a way to let Topic live while having a new AI. Josie says she'd rather die than have Anik spouting nonsense at them, which is kind of my point of view seeping into it. I'd rather have Topic with his "I want you all to die" than Anik with her complete nonsense. They tell Audley and Elijah about the limits of their powers. Josie says that making a ship the size of the Greenstar... Why is my phone not knocking at me so much? I'm just wondering if people are... No, okay. I was just wondering if people were Google Plusing and commenting on the video. Just in case I'd put it public or something by accident, but I didn't. Josie says that making a ship the size of the Greenstar will probably take every bit of power Audley has. This is why they need Pester later, because Audley has used her power up. If we can figure out a way for Audley to use all her power up. Audley says none of it will matter if they don't finish the gun. Josie asks how it will work. Audley says they'll create a massive portal 10 kilometers in diameter, which is the size of the Greenstar. Then they'll fly out of it and into space. Although we might want to make it bigger than that so it'll fit the Greenstar, like 15 kilometers in diameter or something. Because the Greenstar is a square, approximately, that's 10 kilometers on each side, which would mean that the hole for it would have to be bigger. So we can either work out how big it will need to be, or we can just say 15 kilometers, in which case I think it'll easily fit.
Do we want it to easily fit, or do we want it to get stuck halfway?
Well, it's not going to use that hole. So, like, the hole itself is going to be for the robot city to be destroyed. So they won't actually go out of it at all. So I agree that it would be funny to hear the Greenstar scraping through the hole or something, but it's not going to actually use that hole.
Because well, the maths is going to be done by super intelligence people who would assume competence. But is anyone who's reading the book actually going to check the maths?
I don't know. We can easily, if I make a square, let's say 100 by 100 for example, in GIMP. Where's the thingy? Oh, it's over there. Size. So that's 100 by 100, and then we can just okay, and then if we make a circle with all of the corners on the circle. And the circle is okay. So 140 by 140 maybe. That's too small. Oh, what happened?
Just taken against you.
There we go. 14.5 kilometers by 14.5 kilometers. Or 14.5. So
15, yeah.
So 15 would be if they wanted to get out without any scraping. 14.5 if you want some scraping.
Well, you want the implication of scraping, just in case someone works out the math before.
Okay. 14.5 kilometers in diameter. Then they'll fly out of it into space. It'll leave a hole, but that's okay. Josie says that before they leave, she wants to stop the bots. If the people in Nod exist, then they can't just leave them helpless. Mark points out that the bots are everywhere. How are they meant to fight them? Josie says they need some kind of tank, something that can fight the bots. Audley and Elijah go back to work on the gun. They design a tank by committee, is what I wrote. So what would they think was a good idea for a tank? Where they can have anything, basically. If they can think of it, it can exist. So
bendy in the middle so it steers easy.
And what would be the best weapon against a bot? Just the flower guns, or like could we have a souped up version of the flower guns where it shoots out like clumps of dirt or something that's sprout and grab all the... It's turning into Plants vs. Zombies. Then we'd have flowers attacking the robots, which is not 100 miles from flowers attacking the zombies.
Other things that you use against bots. Is anyone sensible going to be involved in the design?
Yeah, I mean, Josie's there, and Doc's obviously smart now.
Because frangible rounds would be the reasonable thing to use against bots. You want something with hard point to get through the armor, and then the impact of going through the armor causes it to fragment. Because the main defense bots have is the fact they've got metal bodies, so they're hard to shoot. But something that punch through the armor and then go all over the place. Windows 11.
Oh. Yeah, but we probably need to change it a little, wouldn't we? If we're saying that it's a horrible system.
We definitely need to change it. That's a concept. It's sort of like some sort of software.
I like that, yeah. Like if it was a gun that shoots memory sticks with like advertising spamware on it.
Yeah, that's true. So like those, did you used to get hundreds of AOL discs through the post?
Yeah, kind of like that. Or I was thinking more of McAfee, which every time you update anything, it's saying, "Oh, we're going to install McAfee for you." No, I don't want McAfee. I'm fine. Yeah, no, we're going to put that in. Just don't not undo the check on the box, double plus negative, to try and confuse you into making it install. Okay, and the third one, the magnets worked fairly well that we had before. Or like an electricity gun, like a Tesla coil kind of electricity gun thing.
Tesla weapons, yay!
That overloads.
Yeah.
Oops. Overloads the bots. The tank has a driver, 3 gunners, and a commander. Mark wants to be the driver because I just thought like he's usually the pilot, so
yeah,
kind of fit. Ballet, Connor, and Doc want to be the gunners. They drive. Obviously, Josie's the commander. They drive off into the forest using a bot detector. Josie takes them to a massive group of bots. They fight and destroy them. Then another and another. I just wanted it to be repetitive, like endless bots just coming towards them. Josie says they need some way of cutting off the supply of bots. They're going to try and blow up the factory. They drive over there. The bots swarm out of the city. There are too many for them, and they retreat to the clearing. The bots swarm in, and everyone fights. A lot of created people die in the fight. But they kill a lot of bots. Elijah says they finished the portal gun, hyperspace gun. Josie asks if they can shoot it onto the robot city. Elijah says they can. Josie says they'll do that and kill two birds with one stone. They drive over there, and Elijah checks the area. He says a portal there would come out in the middle of a star. They have to choose, wipe out the robot city or escape. Josie chooses to stop the bots. I thought that would be a good kind of end to the episode where she says fire on the city.
Yeah.
And then episode 8 starts with them firing on the city.
Yeah.
And the bots being sucked into it, and then they go, okay, what now?
Yeah.
So we went through that pretty fast. That only took us 25 minutes or so.
Yeah. Is that good length?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's quite a lot. I mean, they've got a lot of discussion there about the fact that things are real, and what we could put in, if we were going to add anything, is Audley and Elijah working together. Since we haven't, like, they've gone and looked at what they're doing, but we haven't gone into that. Like, they could certainly have a discussion about the fact that Audley is terminally ill, because I'd like to underscore that before they go. Like we said, that she's going to end up maybe being the AI of the Greenstar when they go back out. So underscoring the fact that she's terminally ill might be a good idea.
Yeah.
So, if we did it, if we did it here, and then we should Elijah rather than Audley, I think.
Yeah.
Like something that she knew was coming, so she'd have a chance to kind of plan to get around it. But Elijah, so we've already explained generally what's happening. So Elijah would know that time has passed out in the real universe.
Yeah.
So would he start asking about movies and new games and things like that? Since that's his kind of interest. Like, would he say, oh, how many new movies are there, or something like that? And then he says, excellent, then I've got a lot to catch up on when we get out of this.
Yeah. Has Duke Nukem Forever been released yet?
I actually played Duke Nukem Forever. It was terrible.
Well, there was a Duke Nukem game that hasn't been released yet that's been...
Oh, yeah, it was released like maybe 2 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't good. That's why you probably haven't heard of it. It had been made by a bunch of different developers, and then someone just kind of mushed all the different games together. So it was just a muddled mess. It wasn't very good. So I said, Audley says the games are 200 hours each or something like that, and Elijah says, well, that'll only take me a month to finish 11 games. I mean, that's all we really need to touch on, unless there was something we want Audley to say about the real universe. Or about hyperspace, or about the land of Nod.
Possibly if we stick a pin in that, and then if we find something we want to set up, we can come back and drop it in later.
Mm.
But not necessarily. I can't think of anything we want to set up.
Mm. Yeah, as you say, like if you get to 8, 9, and 10,
Yeah,
and something is happening in normal space or in the land of Nod, and we want to explain it, then
yeah. 'Cause we're gonna need to get rid of Oddly's power, and
mm.
so potentially,
That actually could happen in the clearing when they lead them to the clearing. It's a good point. So the bots swarm in, everyone fights. So if a lot of creative people are dying in the fight, then oddly, so if she created something that would wipe out all the bots in the vicinity at once, but was incredibly complicated, or like if she made a massive EMP, for instance, an EMP machine, which then would mean the clearing would be safe, but it would destroy the hyperspace gun. That wouldn't work. She could. What would Oddly do if there was a robot malfunctioning in real life? She'd fix it. So could she freeze them somehow and then
create. Well, she's career military,
Mm.
so she might think in a rigid legalistic fashion and create a set of shackles on each of them.
Yeah.
But that's going to use up a lot of power.
That's a very good point.
Bread.
Oddly uses her power to create shackles on all of the thousands of bots. So they could kill the last of the bots. And then they can have the whole thing where they go to the robot city. So that way Oddly's power is gone. Yeah. And the others have limited power left. So that means that their powers are not enough to make the Greenstar, which means we can bring Pester in the next.
Yeah.
Okay, that's excellent.
Yeah, that pulls it together.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've got enough. It may run a little short, but we can see. I'd rather have it short and to the point than just putting in fluff in order to make it longer.
Yeah, which one was it? What one of the previous episodes was technically short.
Yeah, 2 back. 5.
5, yeah, because it didn't feel short when I read it. It felt interesting and good. I sort of like, obviously, I hate it when every episode ends because Greenstar is the most enthralling series in the universe. But
yeah, I mean, my attitude is always that we want them left wanting more instead of left going, oh my god, that was difficult to get through. So if an episode is 8,000 instead of 10,000, like if it was 2, obviously we've got a problem. But if it's 8,000 or 8.5 or something, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the episodes so far have been 10,000, so it will mean instead of 100,000 word book, it'll be 95,000 word book or something. It's not going to be a major difference anyway.
Yeah, it's not a huge problem.
Okay, unless there was anything else, I'll stop the broadcast there.
Can't think of anything, no.
Okay. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.